take time from now on to listen and contemplate on the 7 do's and 7 don'ts. Understanding MIO can be confusing, and how can we achieve success and avoid failure? We all heard from various CEOs this morning, and after our workshop this afternoon, it's time to envision this idea. The first thing, learn how to make MIO successful. Before the first thing, we used to think that training was the most important, which we later found that it is not. Whether it is MIO training at the management or organizational level, the real successful way is to make MIO training a part of the organization's culture. It should be implemented in all 3 levels of the organization: mindfulness at a team level and mindfulness at the organizational level. In order to achieve the goal, we need to set clear results. If we do not set a goal, we'll lose track of it. We need to have a good management team to create mindfulness in the organization and achieve our goals. It is related to how the management team manages that organization. The lesson we learned from MIO is clear that management is key. I would like to ask for this time to show you the key points we learned from 20 organizations. Mindfulness in work means meditation before or after work must be made into the organization's culture. Work with mindfulness with the help of equipment to remind them that organizations must modify that into something that goes with their organization. Some organizations use a bell sound, some organization uses more virtual signs. But the main point here is there is something to remind them. Our mind might be easy to train, but for it to be sustainable, we need to know how to use these reminder signs to be effective in the organization. Secondly, mindfulness in a team. It can be divided into 2 points. One is mindful in interpersonal communication. In big and small meetings in the organization, communication can measure if someone is mindful through their choice of words. Most of you must be familiar with iMessage. Normally, when you use iMessage, we don't really need to be mindful. When we are angry, we just type in short words. We do not express our real emotions. The language you use in the organization can determine what kind of relationship the people in it have. Successful organization comes from cooperation from all sides. Therefore, subdivisions in the organization should hold regular meetings because communication with managers can only help with team relationship, but to brainstorm ways to solve a problem, learn and grow from it requires meetings. Therefore, this program gives importance to factors. Even shift changes in nurses and drivers can hold meetings to practice mindfulness and eventually lead to better work quality. Lastly, to drive an organization's mission forward, the organization needs to have at least these 2 factors in their organization's culture. They are meetings between management level and cross-department meeting. Cross-department meeting might come from a word used in hospitals, but many of you might know that many organizations that function only one way have a limited chance of success because their staff will just focus on their department. Organizations these days are more complex. We learn that having a matrix organization helps drive the organization's mission forward. Therefore, it is important to have quality meetings as well as a good management committee. Before, meetings would be long and winding, but after practicing MIO in meetings were made better in dialogues and creative discussions. The combination of the above 3 factors are called mindfulness in the organization, or MIO. Now let's look at how we can use these 3 factors. First, we have to start with leadership because we need to make it the organization's policy. It needs to be communicated to the staff and let them know that the organization gives importance and value to MIO. Leaders should continuously push the idea sustainably, not just a short-term organization activity. To develop staff's mindfulness, we can all see clearly in the CEO talk that the organization's leader is an important factor in leading the organization to success. Now, when you have a leader, you need a plan. There should be a plan for both organizational and department levels. This is to enforce the idea that this is not just a short-term activity. We need to set a goal and plan on how to reach it. When we have a plan, then resources come to play in order to support the overall plan. The MIO program focuses on sustainability in Thailand. If you have a chance to study MIO programs in other countries, you will see that only high-profit organizations invest in MIO. This makes me question as to why the value of mindfulness is dependable on high investment costs. Therefore, the MIO program in Thailand is designed in a way to be sustainable, and most of the training in the program is in-house training. Our success comes from people inside the organization and not from consulting outside sources. Organizations that are role models, along with information systems, can help organizations set a clear goal. Now you can follow up on it and see if MIO has made the organization better or not. The last concern of the management is HR development. This program provides you with certified and qualified lecturers to train internal staff until they are proficient to be central lecturers for your organization and others. The trained staff will be certified with certificates and 7 requirements. They all will be important resources for many other organizations. More than that, each organization should have its context-based innovations. What makes this program well known is its introductory skill training course for 100% of staff. However, to make it go further, there should be trainers in each organization to work on. Absolutely, it is not an individual matter, but rather it is the concern of all subunits to run the meetings with mindful dialogue and communications. Mentors of all subunits can run knowledge sharing and development inside and cross organizations. In the end, we will make a conclusion of lessons learned about the focuses and the pitfalls. First, we have to decide whether to utilize the practice throughout the organization. This should only proceed if the leader is fully committed. However, many organizations can also find success by implementing change from a small unit. When that unit succeeds, others will soon want to follow. So do not expand the organization's practice if the top executive had yet bought the idea. Let's start with a small group or a subunit that is ready to implement change. Then the company will not have to risk losing many resources and energy if the outcome does not come out as expected. Second, we have to set and expect results. All successful organizations set their expectations and results by referring to MIO. The company should expect to see fewer production wastes, better performance, higher customer satisfaction, or other results. Working without a goal or result in mind is like driving without direction, affecting the staff's overall determination. The company should also consider 2 measurements: an outcome indicator, for example, the percentage of staff practicing mindfulness at work, and those who don't. Measurement can be done by tracking staff dialogue messages in units meetings. The indicator can help identify organizational success. We have learned that key indicators for success in driving organizational missions are management and cross-functional meetings with mindful dialogues. Possible impact indicators can be the level of stress, which may have reduced the happiness of the employees, health, the number of accidents they got into, the number of mistakes in their work, as well as the exhibition of their quality of life or a higher happy age score. Meanwhile, impact indicators for teams are the numbers of innovations which may have increased. The staff has been complaining less, improved overall satisfaction as reflected in team relationships. You may have seen that many organizations have been collecting these indicators data together with organizational commitment. You may have also thought of or already started setting up these kinds of indicators for your organization. Work attendance like lateness, leave of absence, resignation are among the other useful indicators. Besides, public agencies can also look into the efficiency in their budget expenditure and higher productivity levels to measure organizational success. Do not set up only output indicators such as 100% coverage of the management team's training program. It will not do an organization any good. Training 100% of the people will require a massive amount of resources and time to take leave from work to attend the course. If one did not continue practicing mindfulness after the training, that is already a loss of time and resources. A better way is to make MIO the form of organizational practice with a clear plan of activities leading to people working on set targets. To do this, we need a strong team of cross-functional staff. In large organizations, two groups can be established, the steering committee or management team and the academic committee or training team. Training is a big deal for large-size organizations. However, in the smaller ones, a two-in-one team may be set up, but the team must work very hard to execute the plan. Third, we have to be aware of using the tools. If you think that practicing mindful meditation before and after work is enough, but have yet to see any result, you have to know that using only one tool is impossible to drive the three factors. It must end up being a ritual within the organization. To drive the three elements of the MIO, you have to embed mindful dialogue in all teams and units meetings at all organizational levels. Although this program does not need a massive amount of resources, a good investment plan for team recruitment, training course provision, and time allocation are still required. However, there should be sufficient investment for training the management team, internal trainers, and staff. Enhancing the working environment and equipment like computer system, PA system, signboards are also essential to raise awareness in the workplace. Moreover, continuous improvement is key and should be a part of organizational development. Besides knowledge sharing inside and outside the organization, storytelling is another inspiring activity in fostering mindfulness for daily practice. It also relates to quality work like quality assurance or QA, continuous quality improvement or CQI, and research work like R&D, R2R, which are the backbone of organization management. Furthermore, an organization should provide training courses and continue to develop their business plan. Successful organizations should learn to integrate mindfulness in their business planning activities, while the management team should also be mindful when exchanging dialogues during the planning sessions. Surprisingly, the practice leads to a shorter time spent per session and content discussed became more concise and the team is more satisfied with their working spirit. Some organizations also link mindfulness with their CHR activities. For example, a hospital conducts a community outreach program with their staff volunteers to provide training for the detainees. You can now see that mindfulness has linkage to many organizational activities and it can be applied to other aspects as well. Years ago, organizations would conduct inspirational storytelling activities, but that was during the knowledge management era. However, they have stopped doing it now, as the activity was an example of how companies followed trends and was proven not very practical for real world usage. However, we found out that many schools and teachers still kept the inspirational storytelling practices but added MIO. Those schools' professional learning teams still conduct meetings every Sunday to share their success stories of teaching such techniques with others, which resulted in inspirational storytelling activities still being taught at schools until today. However, we should note that mindfulness is a meta skill and can be applied in everyday activities and should not be practiced in one specific way. Some organizations misunderstood the concept and made it too specific, like organizing a training course on dialogue, nonviolent communication, MIO, etc. Actually, MIO is a meta skill. When one learns to practice being mindful, an individual will be able to participate in any meeting with mindful dialogue. Whether it is MIO or nonviolent communication, every training course should work to apply mindfulness and dialogue together. Mindfulness in the team should also focus on mindful communication. However, teams should keep in mind that such practices should not be trained separately. Many organizations do not contemplate well enough to know the linkage of these components, so do not treat MIO as a specific topic and separate it from other activities. To summarize, there are 7 do's and 7 don'ts. The 7 do's are to conduct mindfulness practices throughout the organization and work to establish clear indicators, so do the systematic way that fits with the organization. Build cross-functional teams, propel the 3 drivers, invest sufficiently, and continuously promote learning and development. However, the pitfalls of MIO are to do it. In contrast, the leaders should not do it without a goal in mind. Try to make the practice a daily activity. Do not set up a team for the sake of establishing one, nor having only one driver and no investment plan. Do not make it a specific task without linking the practice with other activities. These are the lessons we have learned. Lastly, it is possible to develop human resources together while driving organizational success. An organization that focuses only on quality but ignores people will be difficult to succeed. Therefore, companies should keep in mind the happiness of its staff, and eventually, difficult tasks will be more manageable. Staff should learn to practice mindfulness as they maneuver across their life activities, whether having a meal, spending money, or being with their family. A home is a place where high stress levels are often detected and problems are rooted. Family matters are the most frequent topics in a storytelling activity. People often reported that they are more mindful when talking to their family members. Therefore, an organization that works towards improving its staff happiness will leave people going home with lower stress levels, leading to better personal and family lives. Besides better working lives, we all can expect that our personal lives, family lives, and society will improve as well. It also means that the staff has sustainable happiness. Many inappropriate behaviors, such as road accidents and drug addiction, occur because people are not happy. If one is happy, they will be more responsible individual. Organizations that practice MIO are naturally more responsible to society and help promote their people to be more responsible to their communities. We can help create a better society through the development of our staff and our organization's business. Lastly, although we have a global-minded network, sufficiency and effective results are integral concepts for Thailand. What we want to work on is to move our organizations to make use of being more mindful. You can contact us for more information. We are ready to support your organizations with many inspirational role model organizations and trainers. You can also be a part of our network to magnify your MIO to other sectors of society or worldwide. Visit our website worldwideweb.thaimio.com or Facebook MIO สร้างสุขด้วยสติในองค์กร or contact us via email mio.dmh@gmail.com or call us by dialing 02-590-8238. We hope that our session today could inspire and encourage you to practice using more MIO concept in your organization. Such practice is proven to be useful for real-world usage and something that we all can work towards. May all your good intention and determination that brought us here today lead our country to be a more mindful country in the future. Thank you for taking the time to be with us today. May you go back with inspiration to propel your organization to another height of success. Thank you very much.
ขอขอบคุณท่าน